back up through the field. And here's the problem with not communicating what you're going to do on a stop. Brad Keselowski came in. They called a code word for the stop. He thought it was...
Brad got into the wall. He got pushed into the wall, and now Brad Keselowski and others are sliding behind him. There goes the 38 of David Reagan making contact. Now they go into the infield grass as well.
Brad looked like he had a handful of race car off of turn 4. Looked like he was getting a little bit loose off turn 4 and having a hard time with that race car.
Daniel Hemrick, there you see the 8 of Hemrick making a left turn to go back to pit road. The 41 of Suarez also involved. A lot of damage to the 2 of Keselowski.
Let's see how all this started right here. Down. Oh, he gets a big push from the 4. And that just turned him. The 4 hit him pretty hard. And Brad just lost control of the car. Turned Brad into the outside wall really hard. Here's a great shot with Kevin Harvick. Oh, man, it really isn't that hard of a hit. It looked like he was just trying to get Brad moving. Unreal that it doesn't take anything to get these cars out of control and out of the driver's hands.
Yeah, Harvick trying to push him to get him by that middle lane, and when he hit him, it just shot Brad up. Then it just all stacks up, and guess what? When you all run in a line together trying to help each other and something happens, guess what happens to all of you? You all get damaged.
Harvick's in the fence a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. Really impressive by Joe Logano and a lot of those guys behind them to get out of the gas and not create any more cars spinning and turning and crashing and obstacles to get through and get by. That could have collected a whole lot more race cars than it did. Harvick kind of smartly put his car up against the fence, like, hey, I'm going to go up here and kind of hope that nothing hits me, nobody gets into this wreck. Going to get on Logano's roof here.
Oh, that's a great shot.
Coca-Cola can. And watch him lift it. Here's the throttle. Oh, here is Spotter telling him everything to do.
You're clear, you're clear.
Great
Sound like an
information.
auctioneer right there.
Yeah.
TJ Majors, low. Marty.
It's like Clint Boyer's pushing the 3, but he moves to go inside, and that upset the 3 a little bit. Got the 3 a little bit loose, but the 3 headed on down the track to try to block anyways, to try to get down there and protect that line, protect that lead.
Let's go back and look at that first view because.
And slow on the track is the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Will he be able to get to the apron? He does. Can he stay out of the line as the racing continues? Austin Dillon up front. They shifted him out.
It's going to be a big one.
And now around goes the 3 in front of the pack. They're all collected. The 11 with damage, the 22 as well.
Big wreck here.
Smoke rolling out of the cars that even cleared this incident. They shuffled out. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, and then while trying to regroup, the 3 of Austin Dillon gets around. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17, major damage.
A lot of good cars in this wreck.
Chris Buescher in the 37, also the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Anytime you see a guy get turned around entering a corner, he's going up across the track. It's going to take a lot of guys with it. That's just one of the worst places, if not the worst place to get turned. And it's the blocking. It's the blocking we've talked about all weekend. And I think that a lot of guys might have Brad Keselowski's mental attitude about it. I'm not allowing it. I'm not putting up with it. We saw it already today with Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse.
We just saw Clint Boyer climb out of his car. Ryan Blaney climbed out of his car.
Guys, the racing was intense, but it all started right here. The Chevy, the 3 of Austin Dillon changed lanes. He tries to make a move on the Toyota, loses momentum, blocks the 14. Now he's helping a Ford. I think he panics. What does he do? He goes back to the bottom, or does he block the 14? The 14 makes a move. The 3 blocks. You said it time and time again. Blocking causes accidents. This is an accident at the front of the field.
He makes the move, as he said. Here comes the 14 of Boyer. Good side draft on the 11. Here comes the 14 of Boyer. Now we got a great shot. Boyer gets into the back of him. He goes to turn left just a little bit, and when he did, he drug the 3 with him. The 3's on the bottom of the racetrack. You know, that was a block. I think the 3 got there. He didn't mean to get there. It's just a little bit of contact.
When Clint goes across the back bumper of that 3, it turned the 3 sideways. It upset the back of that 3 car. And then at that moment, Austin's trying to just catch his car. He's steering the race car. trying to steer the back of the race car. Starts driving like a forklift at that moment. And then he's down the racetrack trying to get down into turn 1.
Kurt Busch squirts out of this without an issue. William Byron, Jimmy Johnson, and Ty Dillon all able to negotiate and get through. And so they're the top 4 right now after this melee happens behind them. Look at the 13. There's Ty Dillon, and he's able to negotiate through all of this virtually unscathed. And now he's running 4th.
Check out this from the 18 car, right in the middle of this mess.
Easy, easy, easy.
Helpless
Gonna come
feeling.
up the middle.
Helpless feeling when you see smoke in front of you, but you don't know what it
Stay on
is.
the flat. Stay out of the grass if you can.
See that contact right there when he went to turn left? That's what moved the 3 down.
Keep coming, keep coming, keep
Oh,
coming.
that's a sickening feeling, isn't it, Junior?
Roll top there. We got damage, guys.
You know that 3 car is coming back across the track. And it's nowhere for anybody to go.
All 4 of the Joe Gibbs Racing cars involved in this incident. There you see the damage to the 11 who was leading. They shuffled him out. Austin Dillon went to his outside.
They're going 190 mile an hour. They're not in complete control.
Stay high, keep digging here. Stay high, keep digging. We're wrecked.
So helpless, man.
And behind them, Keselowski had gotten by Harvick.
Oh, we got a crash over here.
4. Sideways goes to 32 of Corey LaJoie, and that brings out the caution.
Wow, no contact. Doesn't look like there's any damage there.
Tires down. Oh, they're up right now. I can see them.
Very, very lucky to stay out of the fence. Great driving.
Caution comes out. Does that mean more pit strategy? We'll find out on the other side of the break.
Brad Keselowski's hitting in 7th, trying to get Eric Almirola for 6th, and a caution, Rick.
Caution has come out, and looks like the 00 of Landon Castle with an issue.
Big break for Ryan Blaney here. This is going to get him the lucky dog and back in this race.
Blaney was the first car scored a lap down. Oh, and you see 2 cars sideways.
Yeah, they were sideways early in the corner.
51 of Bailey Curry also was sideways with Landon Castle.
Excuse me, Rick Castle had just pitted to top off for fuel. That's why he...
Now down the back straightaway, a little contact. And it wrinkles the quarter panel on that 11 car. Luckily, no flat tire on the left rear for this coming back. Oh, wait a minute. We got an
A
issue on the
slide by
racetrack.
48. Jimmy Johnson sideways will stay here.
He's got some damage to that right rear. He's made contact with something.
He was 7. Right rear tire is down.
Oh, man. Roll right side of the car.
All right side, heavy damage. You mentioned it, Junior. Definite contact, the quarter
Trying to roll,
panel.
fellas.
Here's a replay. Down into turn 1 here. Really loses the back, just gets really loose, and they're going so fast in full throttle. There's no way of saving that.
Yeah, it's the center of the corner speed is so fast with this package. As you said, they use so much throttle, and when you lose grip, you lose a ton of it, and you lose it fast, and Jimmy just never could catch up. What a disappointing ending for these guys. Had a really good run going.
I think it shows, though, man, even though we've got these big spoilers on the back of these cars and these guys got all this downforce, they're still on edge. They are still on edge. You got a 7-time champion here having issues, losing grip.
Yeah, to make them go fast with this package, you have to be loose.
Dates.
Rick wanted to give you a quick update on Eric Jones. Ever since that last pit
caution's
stop,
out.
in trouble.
The 43 of Bubba around.
He's blown a right rear tire on that car.
6 laps to go, and the caution comes out. A restart coming out.
Middle of 1 and 2. Middle of 1 and 2.
Coming off turn 2 here. Dang, he's lucky to. If you blow a right rear tire, he is lucky not to hit anything.
Steve, who's the better restarter here as far as Logano or Kyle Busch as we look at this replay?
Loose.
He's around early in the corner. Did a good job not having the wheels too far to the right, but having them far enough to the right not to hit this inside wall too hard.
He must have felt that tire going down. There's something going into. Yeah, watch here. Yeah, he feels it right there. tire comes apart on the straightaway. Lucky for him, he's able to slow it down and keep it out of the fence. Well, that's really
Down into turn 3, over the bumps. So you hear it. The car starts to spin around, and he jumps in the gas to try to drive it off the wall, knowing, as flat as this place is, he's going to slide right up.
Another caution out.
Oh, boy. The 6 of Ryan Newman
Has some contact, too.
Mike.
And maybe there's something going on down there in turn 3 and 4 that's creating some issues for these drivers.
Well, you talk about how you know, the sticky stuff's in some grooves, not in others. Maybe the transition from one to the other, the losing grip. That car also has heavy damage. If we take a look.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Goodness gracious.
He was way out of the lane before he ever got to the corner. So clearly some sort of issue getting to the corner.
Oh, boy. We got an issue. Oh, man.
Oh, man. More trouble for this team. It's been a tough weekend for them.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the right side, but looking at the seam from the hood to the fender, that is not going to be a repairable.
Have to go. We don't have a great look, unfortunately, but you don't have to. If you turn early here and you don't push the barrier, you're not going to go fast enough. So you have to be right out on the edge of where they put that traction compound. Well, on the other side of that, even though they put traction compound, it doesn't have grip.
Yeah, right.
We got a car in the wall, the 88 car. This is his backup car that is actually in the fence.
That is a huge issue, because you mentioned it's their backup car. Like, we're in New Hampshire. We're 18 hours from North Carolina. I'm not sure if they have another car on the way or not, but that is heavy, heavy, heavy damage for the 88.
Loose end. And that's what we're talking about with Denny Hamlin. Here's a great shot of it. Big arc into turn 1 and never got into the, the right rear never got into the third groove. I mean, it's
Greg Ives in this 88 car, they have a decision to make. You see the heavy damage. So listen, it's basically one of 3 options.
Turn to try to work by that 34.
Very important to get by him. He cleared him right there. We have yellow on the racetrack, Rick.
Caution has just come out. Yeah, Austin Dillon slow on the racetrack. Sounds like
he has a flat tire, I believe. Some sort of an issue. He actually got into the fence here.
Yeah, that right front is down. A lot of damage to the right, actually the whole right side.
Man, so he had dropped pace because of a tire issue. Let's see here.
Baby around here don't look that bad, actually.
All right. Oh, yeah, goodness. You know what it sounded like? That he had corded that right front tire.
Yeah.
He had ran that, maybe possibly ran that right front tire.
Was it a right or a left that went flat?
I think right front.
I think it was a right.
Either way.
You got to have them both, so it doesn't matter.
It sounded like he wore right down to the air. Crash right here. Daniel Suarez down in the corner, loses the back, corrects the car into the side of Daniel Hemrick. Around they go. Hemrick hard into the wall.
Suarez, not a lot of damage right here. It's hard racing. Got away from him, got inside of Hemrick.
I just have to think that he was in the untreated part of the track and expecting more grip. He gets loose right there, corrects the car up the racetrack into the 8. But the 48 running on the bottom of the racetrack down there is interesting as well. Listen to his radio.
Eventually moving into a backup car, we've got a caution out.
Yeah, caution on the racetrack. 17. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. looked to have slammed the wall. Look at the right side of that car.
Left hand tire down, hit the wall, 8 exit coming on 4 right sides, damage.
So I think they blew a tire and got in the wall. Both fronts are down, so it's hard to tell which one went, but hit the wall quite a lick there to do that kind of damage. It's knocked it looks like the right front actually got in, and I think he's got a left front tire went down on. Looks like some contact may have created this issue with him. Eric Jones trying to get by. They make contact right here.
Ooh.
Creates either a rub or a cut that left front tire. And here it is, blowing away.
Oh,
man. Right on corner exit into throttle.
That's such a hard hit.
A lot of tire rub right there.
Hard to explain how much that hurts. Now you know you got to get going. You know tires are coming. You know faster cars are coming.
Oh, we got a crash down the front straightaway.
That's Boyer.
That's Boyer in the fence.
You just talked about it, Steve. That's another problem with getting back
Right
in that
side four,
field.
pretty good. I'm not killed this far up inside 43.
Truex not happy.
It's not just points. You know, it puts you in a position where you can have these things happen.
Yeah, it looks like Clint Boyer come up off of turn 4. May have come across the nose of the 19 car. We'll have to take a look at it and see.
There was 2 and 3 wide as they came out of turn 4, and obviously not enough room.
So at the bottom of the screen, 19 is on the outside of the 14. 14 gets a little bit loose, pinches them both in the fence. It's hard racing there, but Clint slides up the track a little bit in the throttle.
Yeah, did not give enough room to Truex. You saw him get loose, and then he was just out of control. And
Martin upset. Come on, Clint.
Hand out the window.
yeah, Clint's thinking, I didn't mean to wreck both of us.
Boyer, Johnson, Jones, now Newman.
Oh, look out. Our Clint.
18.
Oh, man.
Kyle Busch into the wall.
Hello, yellow.
And there's the caution we had just predicted. The possibility of a caution coming out.
Stay out for the caution if we can.
Looks like his tires are all up. I don't know if he had one going down.
We're fine here. The toes knocked a little bit to the left, steering more to the left.
He's following Newman into the corner and
It gets loose.
yeah, just free on corner entry, then chases it up. We talked about earlier how if you get out of this groove, there's just no grip whatsoever. Right there, made contact with the wall, and you heard him say he feels like the toe is off, and he's given that indication by where the steering wheel, right, really early loose, get in the corner, and just couldn't get the thing turned. So he's got a mark on his steering wheel. He knows here.
Backs out.
Look at Blaney trying to make something.
Oh, the 42 spinning out.
Here comes Larson around. No contact. He hits the wall. Caution comes out again.
Right rear damage.
We talked about it. Restarts. Junior, you just talked about it. How aggressive were they going to be? Spent all day fighting to get track position.
Yeah, it all started on the start. You mentioned it, guys. The inside line didn't go, and the 42 actually got a good start. You're going to see him jump out of line to the bottom. There he is, trying to get inside the 88. He establishes the position as the 88 squeezes him down to try to stay off the 88. The front end turns. The 42 loses the back up the track.
Yeah, they're really just not enough room down there. He made the move, committed to it. But the 88 did not leave enough room for him to be there and make the corner.
Great job by Busch.
This bottom lane, caution, Kyle Larson.
And it's Kyle Larson around, and the 42 has brought the caution out.
Yeah, I think he's got a flat right rear tire. He's made some contact.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the right rear of that car. And so, you guys both mentioned it.
Yeah, he's got a flat get in the corner right there for sure. Just had lost a lap to Denny Hamlin. Was sitting in the lucky dog spot.
Watch him, yellow's out, yellow's out. Watch 42, get down. There you go, good job.
See, just that car just digging the wall. Both front tires came off the ground. Just big impacts here.
Steve, we've seen so many. Larson hard into the wall. It looks like the front right and the rear of that car. Did you see everything happen there, Junior?
Yeah, when I saw Kyle, he was already sideways. Looks like he got loose on the corner on the exit of the tunnel. Maybe some contact with outside wall before he slid down in the inside wall, making contact there, hard contact. He's trying to get the car moving here. Slid back up into the groove. We are on board that car, so we'll have some great footage here. We'll see as he drives down into the tunnel. Got to carry that throttle, and the car's just too loose. You can see corrects it, gets into the wall of the right rear. Popping tires, hitting the inside fence. The scary part was here, sliding back up into oncoming traffic right in the racing groove. Luckily, everybody was able to avoid. But that's the trouble about running here, or the pressure, I guess, for these drivers, is they have to carry so much throttle through this tunnel turn, and you have to trust that that grip is going to be there. That car is going to be hooked up, be into the racetrack, and he got a big surprise, obviously, in the center of that corner with the car getting loose. We got a crash off of turn
And the
1.
9.
Bags, we got a crash over there. The 9 has hit the fence off of turn 1.
Yeah, Chase Elliott got up the racetrack and he bounced off the outside safer barrier. He's been able to keep the car obviously in a straight line. There is damage on the right side, the right rear, and all across the back of that Chevrolet. Chase Elliott is the latest to run into trouble here at the old tricky triangle this morning.
Yeah, he's coming by me here. He's got big damage to the right rear. They're going to have to go to a backup car. The right front did not hit the wall. Looks like he must have gotten loose and chased the back into the fence off of turn 2, or off turn 1.
Watching Chase Elliott coming through turn number 1. Again, he's been using the bottom of the racetrack, and it looks like he's back to full power right there on the yellow line of the apron, but then it looks like the car starts to take off, back end starts to kick out, and he's trying to hang on. The wall kept him from going around, but the problem with that is it broke his right rear, and then obviously some damage on the left front too, Junior.
So amazing. These guys are having trouble, with these cars getting loose. And I think it just shows how treacherous and how out of the racetrack, how slick and hard these cars are to drive. We thought with the extra downforce throughout this season that the cars would be much more stable, but to make a fast car, it's got to have to drive bad. It's not going to be comfortable to go fast. And you can see another example of that right there.
Back off turn 3, trying to get to pit road. Caution's out.
Caution is out. Hard damage to the right side of that car. He was running 6th.
Right front tire.
You heard it, blew a right front tire, and he comes to stop on the racetrack. You see a little bit of fluid coming out from behind that car. We'll see if he's going to be able to make it down to pit road. Again, that's a backup car. In practice, he crashed his primary.
See, drives in the corner, just early contact. Really hard impact for Chase Elliott. It's crazy, the impact, the sound, what it felt like.
Brian Blaney, does he know they're 3 wide? Oh, 41's going to drift up a little bit. He's loose. They're in the fence. Ryan Blaney's in the wall of the back straightaway.
Oh, Ryan Blaney has done a nice job of recovering, but then he's got damage. You see Suarez has damage on his right rear. A lot of smoke on Suarez. Both those cars are headed to pit road. Blaney's spinning in 3. He's against the wall, not heavy contact.
Got a wreck behind you in 3.
That caution came out, actually helped him and Suarez. Without that, they're going to have to pit on the green with damage. So the caution was beneficial to him.
The 41, before this, the 41 dove down in the corner and got loose, got up into the 12. That carried both those guys up the track and into the fence, and obviously you see the damage and the smoke.
Yeah, you see Blaney right there in the back. He's got a tire down. See the car wiggling, ends up spinning out, which actually was a break for Blaney. A little bit of contact, but not. These guys scattered. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what happens with all these people trying to get around them. This crazy action. It's easy to forget they're running about 180, 185 mile an hour over there. They're driving like they're on a short track.
And the timing of when the caution came out was very close for Kyle Busch, who, when the caution comes out, it closes pit road. He was just barely on pit road when the caution came out. Here,
Not comfortable with at all. They look to build on that.
Ryan Preece is up and into the wall. Hard contact for Preece, who came into turn number 1 sideways and slammed into the safer barrier. Right side is demolished, back end demolished as well. Solo car trip into the wall. Ryan Preece in trouble here in Pocono.
bringing out the caution once again.
So many times we've seen huge hits down in turn 1, Rick.
So Ryan Preece, the right side destroyed on that race car, and the caution comes out once again. Now it's still too far. There's 46 laps to go. How many people will come to pit road, Steve?
Everyone, the whole field, the entire field. It's an unfortunate for Ryan Preece, but the timing of this yellow will put everyone right into the edge of the fuel window, into a fuel mileage race. Let's take a look at what happened to this 47. You heard Bagley call it. Loose down into the corner. Man, a big slide and a huge impact.
That was absolutely massive when he came in there, and he just nailed that safer barrier right there. He rode it for a moment. but the right side is done. That car is done, and what a hard contact. And this is how it looked for where I was standing here. All of a sudden, I happened to look over and like, whoa, where's the button? There we found the button, and it was Ryan Preece. That was the reason for the caution flag. Took us totally off guard. Didn't expect that to happen, but when it did, it was big, as they tend to be here in 1 at Pocono.
Hey, Bagley right over your shoulder.
To the inside, and they're still 3, 4, 5 wide mid-pack.
Oh, we got cars in the fence on the back straightaway. Kurt Busch hard in the wall. They were 3 or 4 wide out there. Looks like Stenhouse is being held. Oh, Kurt's wrecking the car. Kurt's in the fence. 34's in the fence. Looks like he blew a tire and just lost control of the car. Got into 34 and turned him around. Wild action on that restart. We're going to get another one. But it looked like those guys were 3 or 4 wide there and no room for Kurt on the outside coming off of turn 1 down there, Bagley.
Not at all. We talked about the 4 and 5 wide nature, Junior. Well, they came out of 1, and it was obviously Kurt Busch on the short end of the stick, and ultimately Michael McDowell was swept up in that as well. And right now, Kurt Busch is trying to just limp his way back.
Yeah, Kurt was in the fence and had a little damage, and it looked like it cut a tire down as he continued down that straightaway and then lost control. Let's take a look at it. We're on board, so we'll have some great shots of this. Monster Energy Cam. So here's contact with the wall, and that will cut the tire down right here, or yeah, either that or he just gets turned by the 17. I believe he had a flat tire as well, and that takes the 34 McDowell along for the ride. There he is. Yeah, so I think Stenhouse was the first one in the fence with all his cars side by side there. Not enough room. Yeah, Kurt Busch squeezing the 17 into the wall, and look at here, maybe the 17 a little angry with that. Turns him into McDowell. Almost flips the 34 car. That temper's flaring here on these restarts. I think we're going to get another one just like that. More angry drivers at the end of it.
More angry than that?
Yeah, I mean, this is for all the marbles right here, and this is going on in the back of the pack for whatever, 20th, 25th place. So you can imagine how angry you'd be if you was up front and this went on.
Well, the 41 of Daniel Suarez also receiving a penalty for a restart violation.
Still middle 4 right. Still 4. Still 4.
And the issue there is you can't lift.
Still inside.
You know, with the way the rules are, if Kurt lifts for what's happening around him, he's going to lose so many spots down this next straightaway.